So would you like to know what is actually happening, why our sun looks so different, and why the clouds have changed so much? Well, then you are in luck, because I can tell you exactly what is happening. So first, you need to know who this man is. His name is Samuel Hoffman, and he has easily made one of the biggest discoveries in our lifetime, if not ever. And yes, I know that is hard to believe. That's just how big this information actually is. So what is this big discovery, you might ask? Well, it's the fact that we actually have a binary twin solar system. It's another solar system that we are purposefully not being told about. So in our twin solar system, there are 8 planets and another sun. And our two solar systems cross paths approximately every 3,600 years. This other solar system actually arrived back in 2009 and is currently passing just outside Earth's atmosphere. Very similar to what this picture shows here. Except the planets in this other solar system are actually much bigger and much closer than this. So you're probably wondering why, if Sam made this discovery back in 1978, why didn't he say something about it sooner? Well, that is because not long after he made this discovery, the government forced him into signing a 30-year non-disclosure agreement to keep him from talking about it. It's literally because they do not want us to know these other planets even exist, let alone here now. So basically, it's because of this other solar system. These nearby planets are the reason why our sky, sun, clouds, etc. all now look so dramatically different. And honestly, these other planets are the reason why we are seeing a huge increase in destructive weather events, from floods to earthquakes to fires being ignited caused by electrical discharge from close passing planets and asteroids. It's because of these other planets that these things are happening. Truly, the government is desperate to cover this information up. This is why they lie so heavily and have filled the internet with disinformation. So you see, most of the clouds that we see every single day are actually clouds coming from the atmospheres of these other planets. That's just how close these other planets are actually passing by Earth. And then most of the streaks and trails that we see in the sky are actually caused by the planets and their asteroids that are dragging across Earth's atmosphere. Not so much chemtrails and HAARP, that's what they want you to think though. Those are cover-ups. So what's that? What proof do I have? Oh, we have proof, all right. There's actually over 14 years of photographic documentation that prove what I am saying is really happening. Things like massive shadows in the sky, perfect circles like this, showing us that we actually have another solar system passing between Earth and our sun. So check back soon for part 2, where I will be showing you this undeniable proof. And remember, this information is really very hard to find. You can't just go Google and YouTube and find it. There's only one source for this information, which is Samuel Hoffman. Now, I talk to Sam about once a week to gather new information from him in order to pass it along to you all. So be sure to check back with me often to hear new information about our binary twin solar system. Part 2 coming soon. So about that undeniable proof that I was telling you about. What proof is that, you ask? Well, the proof that we actually have a binary twin solar system. It's another solar system and another sun that we are quite purposefully not being told about. Let's take a moment to recap. So in part 1, I explained how this man, Samuel Hoffman, made a very important discovery. Back in 1978, he discovered our binary twin solar system, and also how we actually live in an electrical universe, not gravitational. and our two solar systems actually cross paths about every 3,600 years. And this other solar system arrived just outside Earth's atmosphere back in 2009. So in order to truly understand the proof that we actually have, you first need to understand just how significant these drawings are that I share. So all of the drawings I share are created by Samuel Hoffman, and what he has done is he started using a skill called remote viewing, which allows him to visualize in his mind the details of these other planets. He can see their locations and colors, the moons, asteroids, crafts, etc. He can pretty much see it all. And then what he does is once a month he creates a drawing of what he sees to show us what is out there. And truly, the most remarkable part of it all is his accuracy. There's nearly 100 drawings from over the last 9 years, and each are completely highly accurate. And just so you know, based on all the years I have studied this information, there is no question that Samuel Hoffman is completely connected with this other solar system and what we're seeing in our sky. He is doing and seeing things that normally most people could never do or see, yet he does so with ease. So let's take a moment and look at some of the more obvious examples first, and that is the times when these planets will cut into our sunlight. Now you have to remember, these planets are currently passing between Earth and our Sun, so what we see are their dark sides. They create undeniable shadows in the sky, as well as cutting out portions of our sunlight. You will notice just how repetitive all of this actually is, indicating that there are objects there causing this to happen. So now that you have a better understanding of what's happening, let's take a moment and look at a few other pictures on a deeper level. For instance, this picture here, do you notice how the sunlight has an unusual curve to it? That entire blue area is the shadow of a planet, the planet Isatum, and you see how it is curved into our sunlight, cutting into the sunlight and blocking portions of it. Things like this are completely normal, and I see it happen almost every day. And that green orb, that is an asteroid, the green asteroid. And again, do you see how this blue area is curved into our sunlight, causing our sunlight to appear a distorted shape? This whole blue area is the shadow of a planet that is cutting into our sunlight. So now let's pair up some of these photos with Samuel Hoffman's drawings. First here we have a drawing that shows the yellow moon cutting in to the right of our sun, just like this photo has. And then to the left, again, a planet cutting into our sunlight. And remember, most of the time, Samuel Hoffman's drawings predate whatever photograph I am pairing it with, just so you know. And again, we have another great example showing a planet cutting into our sunlight, causing it to appear pinched and distorted. So this red area is the planet Isatum, more from a distance, and the blue area behind it is the shadow coming from the planet Nibiru. And as you can see, this drawing by Samuel Hoffman is completely accurate, if not identical. So do you see what I see? Thought so. And it matches the drawing? Right. Yeah, this is actually the yellow moon of the planet Isatum, and currently this moon is always just to the right of our sun. So keep your eye out when you're out taking pictures for Isatum's moon, now that you know where it's located. But as you can see, it's undeniably matching this drawing that was created long before this image ever actually happened. So just to clarify one thing, we are not talking about small planets in the distance that you need a telescope to see. These planets are passing just outside Earth's atmosphere, which means their atmospheres quite literally will fill our entire sky. Most of the clouds we see every day are actually clouds coming from these other planets. So I'm sure you now have a much better understanding as to what is actually happening, how close these planets are actually passing by Earth, as well as the huge significance Samuel Hoffman's drawings actually have. In the next part, I will be talking to you all about the reasons why they don't want us to know this other solar system exists, as well as all the different things they do to try to hide this away from everyone. But in the meantime, I recommend you take some time to go back and watch my older videos, because I have so many great examples and different ways for you to be able to learn. Part 3, coming. Okay, so I am sure by now you are probably wondering why they don't just come out and tell us. I mean, why is it that they don't want us to know about how we actually have a binary twin solar system? I am talking about there being another set of planets and another sun that travel on its own elliptical course, and every 3,600 or so years, this other solar system crosses paths with our solar system. So you remember me telling you about Samuel Hoffman, right? He is the person that actually made this dramatic discovery that we actually have this binary twin solar system. So let's take a moment and explain exactly how that happened. So back when Samuel was a child, it was discovered early on that he actually had a prodigy level IQ. And for that very reason alone, it's no surprise that later in life, Samuel would make such a significant discovery. So back in 1978, when Samuel was just 17 years old and still a junior in high school, he wrote a very significant paper. It was one of his term papers for that year, and it is something that would eventually change his entire life. So in this term paper that is now classified by the U.S. government, Samuel made two very remarkable claims. In this paper, he wrote about how he believed, based on his mathematical calculations, that we actually have a binary twin solar system. That, along with the fact that we actually live in an electrical universe, not gravitational. His teacher takes that paper and turns it in to a group at a local university. This is where the government gets involved. So long story short, the government waited until Samuel turned 18 and graduated high school, and then they showed up to talk to him about that paper he wrote. And ultimately, they forced him into signing a 30-year non-disclosure agreement to keep him from talking about it. That is when Samuel knew, beyond any doubt at all, that what he wrote in that paper was actually true. So after Samuel reluctantly signed that 30-year non-disclosure agreement, he turned around and asked them, "So why only 30 years?" To which they replied, "Because by the time this wears off, which will be in 2010, it's not going to matter what you say anyway, because no one will ever believe you." And why won't most people end up believing what Samuel says? It's because of these conspiracy theories right there. These conspiracies were purposefully created to help the government be able to explain away natural effects that are caused by our twin solar system, effects to our sky, sun, clouds, and weather. Now seriously, lying is nothing to these people, and there is truly no limit to the number of lies that they will tell us in order to keep everyone from knowing that these other planets exist, let alone from knowing that they're here right now, passing just outside Earth's atmosphere. This is why they go to all the trouble that they do to make people believe that the things that are happening in our sky are man-made. They want people to believe they're man-made so they won't realize that it's actually a natural event from these other planets. So with all of that being said, now let's talk about why they don't want us to know this other solar system exists. So like I was saying, the planets of our twin solar system are here right now. They are passing very close by Earth, just outside Earth's atmosphere. And 2 of these other planets are inhabited, the planets Nibiru and Saru. So you see, to the higher races that live on the planets Nibiru and Saru, to them, Earth is considered a factory planet. And to the beings on these other planets, humans were purposefully created to be workers. We are considered self-replicating biotools. And we were created to work on factory Earth, where ultimately everything that we do goes towards providing goods and commodities, things like gold and other minerals, to these higher races on these other planets, things that they need for their survival. So there's absolutely no question that aliens are real, and overall our entire existence is pretty much a lie. And they have manipulated our world and our thinking since day one. They lie to better control us. And the more brainwashed people are, the more easily they can be controlled. So now you have a better understanding as to what is really happening, how we have another solar system passing close by Earth that is affecting our sky and our weather, and how the government has created a long list of conspiracies to make people believe what they're seeing in the sky and weather are man-made, when really it's because of close passing planets. We also now know who discovered this other solar system and how, as well as the fact that aliens from other planets actually control Earth and consider Earth their factory. They don't have to invade Earth. Earth is already theirs. Next, we are going to start going into the 14 years of photographic documentation that I have to offer that back all of this up and support everything that I am saying. In the next episode, we will be talking about how to recognize what is a planet versus an asteroid, moon, and a craft. So I look forward to sharing these pictures with you. Part 4 coming soon. So P.S. I have one important clarification I need to make. So when I say that Samuel Hoffman discovered this other solar system, what I actually mean is that he is the person that discovered this other solar system during our particular lifetime. So we may not know who actually discovered this other solar system, but we do know that it passes by Earth approximately every 3,600 years, which means that there have been many, many previous civilizations before us that were also aware of these other planets, and they left behind artifacts to show us the things that they saw. So we're most definitely not the first or the last civilization that will see these planets. And no matter how all of this plays out, Earth will be just fine. So don't buy into the hype. The world is not ending, but this is a reset event. And in 3,600 years, there will be an entire new generation of people, and they too will marvel at the beauty of our binary twin solar system.